Degens. This is the, as Satoshi was calling it before the show, the Web3 Wednesday show that we just don't call that, where we talk about all things happening in Web3, aka all things blockchain, cryptocurrency, also a little bit off the chain, but things that aren't happening on chain necessarily. So macro world events, but it's just a time to get together with the guys or the gals if some gals eventually join us. They're into crypto or whatever, the folks. And we talk about those things which we just can't do with the normie population. So it's been a few weeks since I've been here with my other host, Rex Satoshi. So yeah, how goes things, Rex Satoshi? How was the holidays and the feelings in the last 2 weeks of cryptocurrency since we haven't been speaking so much?
The holidays were pretty good. Definitely had some fun. Sorry, I'm just trying to share the YouTube link out to the people that I usually do as early as I can. Um, but dude, this crypto market specifically it's just like it's really showing me that you gotta control your feelings.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's going on right now. There's a lot of but there's still technology out there. There's still money to be made. So it's just like, man, it's just like you gotta kind of have a laser focus on what you're trying to achieve, and remember, kind of why you're here. And it's kind of tough, but
Facts.
I had a birthday in between that time, so I was kind of a little bit removed from the crypto markets a little bit, which I feel like is good to go out and touch grass and try not to, yeah, try not to take it so seriously all the time.
That's a good point there. Just to go out there and touch grass. I saw Vitalik or Vitalik, I don't know how people want to say it, had a tweet the other day where he had a poll of like, how many people, it was like comparing things that you might have done in the crypto market if you were like into crypto and DeFi. And so it was like pairing up things like if you had success or if you're on the market right now, when's the last time you've also gone on like a long hike or gone snowboarding or done like whatever the heck. And the ratios in the poll were kind of like, yeah, people, come on. You can still get out there. You can still get out there. Try to get out there. Try to branch out of your comfort zone when possible for things like that. It's good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What
Nice
about
to
you, man?
hear. Good holiday time. Just with the babe this time. We didn't go to either of our families because we got time with them scheduled in the upcoming, and delaying and flying just ain't the move. So
Yeah, not at all.
plotting things out a little bit later. In the meantime, my Michigan Wolverines pummeled Ohio State, so that was wonderful. If you haven't watched the recaps of that
Congrats,
game,
congrats.
go ahead and watch the recaps. They do a play that I've never seen done before in football.
I'll have to
So,
check that out.
so I was like, there they go again. There's like they do these plays sometimes where you're like, really? I haven't seen this. Um, my feelings on the market. It wasn't hitting me like this so much, but I also I spent a decent amount of time kind of like just like watching the market and checking market sentiment and stuff like that. And it really started to feel like I'm like, it's like starting to feel like we haven't capitulated in price quite yet, maybe. However, people's feelings had like really capitulated in crypto. Something around like week 2 or something like that of the FTX stuff, like leading into like Thanksgiving. I feel like people were just like, oh,
Scope, man. The scope of
like
it is
I need
is
a break. Like that just like
yeah.
was the
You need to
feel of
take
the
a
market.
break. You need to take a break and remember why we do this,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that shit is not why we do this. And dude, I seriously thought about like, dude, maybe I need to take my ball and go home for a little bit.
See, like
Take
this.
my ball and go home for a little bit.
I was just scanning the market, seeing how people felt, and I'm like, I feel like that's how people are feeling now. Um, And it's not like, like I don't get affected by the market at all. Like I'm some type of like cybernetic robot or something, and I don't have those emotions. However,
You gotta
I'm
see
trying
them. You
to,
gotta see that shit.
yeah, like I'm trying to tell myself as much as possible when those things happen. I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
and I'm not like overly optimistic, like, oh, this is the time to buy the dip. But I'm like, this is part of it's like, what does this mean? Like, gather as many data points as possible. And when I look at some of the other data points, things like what's happening in the macro portion of the
Mhm.
market, and this is a good time to use this new graphic which we created. Wow, it's fancy. Macro topics.
Okay. There we
No,
go. Upgrades. Upgrades.
upgrades, little ones. But yeah, what's happening in the macro? Like most recently, even though the FTX drama happened, this is that's on the heels of countless Polygon after deal after deal after deal for just Polygon. That's on the
And
heels of the
Polygon is
whole
so bullish.
optimistic roll-ups and ZK roll-ups and ZK Sync still coming out with their blockchain and doing an airdrop and all that stuff. That's like on the heels of all that stuff being introduced. And so like it took away from the narrative. And of course, media outlets are going to eat up anything that's negative about crypto. But like when we think about that, and even where is it? Here we go. I'm gonna go to this first our first article sharing today. Little article we got there, guys. We think about things like this article, which I'm gonna put in screen. JP Morgan to provide Bitcoin exchange transfer and payment services via its newly approved trademark. So JP Morgan's still in here in the bear market, in FTX week, in the FTX drama, during the FTX drama. The people that were saying they'll fire you if you like hold any Bitcoin, that during the FTX drama is going after trademarks and stuff. And it just, I don't know. To me, that type of stuff is a telltale that the market's not over. It's not done. Maybe it's breaking. Maybe it's a little break time. Oh my God, the dogs are gonna lose right now. But maybe it's break time a little bit. Things are slowing down. It's accumulation period, as people like to say. But it's not over. And so I don't know. During this time, I take a focus on learning as much as possible. So I've been get this one out of here. I've been trying to increase like my trading knowledge like immensely compared to last year. Like I understood like basics of candles and stuff, but learning as many different types of candlesticks as possible, as many types of trading patterns as possible. And that's not so much just for the act of trading, but to understand like market I don't know, like movements, I'll call it, like, and just like how the way that money flows, more so, because I feel like that's important regardless. It's like the first time that you learn that markets participate in cycles. It's like, really? That's a thing? And somebody's like, yeah, that's a thing. It's like, oh, they really do go up and down. Like everything doesn't come back, but there's definitely
Yeah.
cycles to things. So, oh man.
Yeah. So speaking of cycles, how long do we have until our next happening?
That's the 24, right? It's 2024.
2024. Okay, when this is the
Yeah.
presidential cycle. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like,
Um,
it's not next year. I'm like, it might be 2025. No, I think it's 2024 though. Let me look that up. Let's look that up
okay.
while you.
JP Morgan definitely wants in. Like JP Morgan's been slowly like, now Jamie Dimon says what he wants. But JP Morgan as a business, was like, we need to figure out how to get some of this money. Like if these motherfuckers can steal billions of dollars, then we can make some money on cryptocurrency. I definitely think that I definitely think that JP Morgan, I'm pretty sure they're a part of that pilot program with the
Mhm.
stablecoin. So I mean, they're gonna keep acting like they're, hey, they're gonna tell everyone, hey, look over here, while they're, doing what we're doing right here, basically. So
For
we'll see
sure.
how long it takes for them to like start like super advertising their crypto stuff.
True. I can't imagine a world where JP Morgan was such a prominent figure in like the previous financial structure. And not in
Mhm.
terms of just like being a bank that like, oh, it's a bank. Like if you're like, American, but aren't really up on like what the Federal Reserve and stuff like that. It's just a bank and it's like one of our most known banks. but they also like helped like create the Federal Reserve and all this stuff. And so it's like they've got like ties to the system, and like how it works, how to be the best of the best. Is not. It's like when you learn that, it's like it's no surprise that it's top bank. Then is it? When they're like learn the history of who J.P. Morgan is. So it's not like really a surprise like that. So it's hard for me to imagine a world where they don't want to be, um, in the lead and ready to go at least. Should things shift in this other direction, and should the United States be like, okay, we're going to do this, or we're allowed this level of whatever, I can't imagine them just giving up that big a piece of the financial pie, regardless whether or not it's on blockchain or old technology. I'll just call it the Internet 2.0.
Yeah. So a couple macro things. What's going on in China right now with their,
Mm.
the lockdowns, and China, they were like the first country to release their stable coin. I don't know. Like it seems like it's almost a nothing burger kind of. Like no one's talking about it at all. I don't know if no one's using it or they're not deploying it yet. But they put their country on a very strict lockdown, and it seems like they would want to be pushing their stablecoin, kind of what our conspiracies are about how these stablecoins are gonna become active around participants, is that they're gonna cause some kind of a lockdown or something, and then give people their stable coin as far as how well they act, and if they're being, if they're complying with the rules. And all these people are not getting stable coins. They're not getting China. They're not. They're out.
You are not getting it's like imagine a politician out there. All these people here are not getting. None of you guys here are getting.
Like, y'all can't spit y'all stable coins anywhere. I heard that like China's famous for like once their people are protesting, they come out on their loudspeaker, like how when like we have like tornadoes and shit, like they have like tornado sirens that come on, like tell you like you're a siren. Like in China, they have people that come out and speak to you, and the government official that came out and spoke said, you might not be in trouble right now, but later on in the future, you're going to get in trouble for what you're doing right now. Like, they're video surveilling all these people.
Yeah, they're like, somebody's getting employed to like go through all of this.
They're like, we're going to find somebody in here and make them pay and make an example out of them. It's wild what's going on. That the Fed had a meeting yesterday, and there was a lot of like mixed signals that were dropped. I'm just thinking of macro stuff that's kind of going on right now.
Yeah, I'm like Jerome Powell had a speech today, I believe. Maybe it was no, it was like there was
I don't know if it was.
today.
I don't know if it was today or yesterday. All the days just blend for me now.
So I was like listening to it for a bit and writing, and then at some point I turned off Jerome Powell and like do my work instead of. Okay, this is like one thing. Is anything?
It's just like it's so interesting, but it's so boring at the same time. You're just like, man, I want to keep listening to this, but I don't know how much I can handle as a human.
Yeah. This guy says Santa Claus is coming this year, but I feel like when I was listening to Jerome speak, it sounded like he kept saying that he didn't see any like for sure signs that like inflation had been like handled like in like anything like for sure, like okay, it's for sure. Like if anything, they were gonna continue to increase rates a bit. I don't think it's the same. I don't think so. I don't think like a 70.75 basis points like we've been doing, or 0.75%, whatever we can consider it. I think maybe less, but that also was in line with what he's been saying since the summer, which was that like we'd max somewhere around 4.2, 4.5 or something like that. Like when he first started saying that, it's like, okay, maybe it's crazy. But now it's kind of tailing out. And then what was he saying? He said something about housing, where he felt like the housing market inflation and stuff like that would do a turnaround sometime. Did he say? I think he said sometime in 2023. So sometime in late June 2023, he was expecting that. I don't think it was 2024, which I thought was interesting. So he was like, yeah, like, the inflation, and as people like switching to new rents and whatever the heck, we should see that going up because people will be able to raise the rents. But sometime in 2023, we should see that coming down. And so I was like, interesting, something. But that's why it's worth listening to this type of stuff, because even if it's not like, they can change, they're trying to get projections and stuff, so they can change that. But regardless, I don't know. It's giving you a high level of what those people are thinking. The amount that you want to believe, if you want to put that hat on. But yeah, I think it's good information.
I heard that he was basically saying that kind of that eventually, here soon-ish, and I didn't listen to what he said at all. I just look and see what other people say that he said about it. And one thing is that he said that that eventually they will turn and be a little softer with these with the hikes. But he also said that the hikes might get larger. Like, what? Like, so I don't, or at least that they'll stay as big as they are now, which is like, I don't know. As far as them dealing with inflation, I think that they're not helping right now. They weren't helping before, and it's just inflation's still going on. They don't know how to really stop inflation. The inflation numbers have kind of started to kind of peak, kind of start to climax, and maybe since they're trying to do stuff now, it's starting to kind of stay at the same point, kind of level out. But I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think that they're going to fix inflation all of a sudden, because just a little bit ago they didn't think that we really had inflation the way that we do right now. So now
I feel like they knew. I feel like it wasn't being shared. How often did you have people before 2020? Like I feel like I used to like really sound like a conspiracy theorist talking about some of the stuff that I started learning about, like about money and about like the printing of money and inflation. And it's like, oh well, you like you're not really like, I don't know, because before I used to think when I would hear things like, oh, you should ask for a raise at your job every year of at least like this much percent. I was like, oh, okay, well, like yeah, it's like a good tactic. And then you like look at inflation numbers for like other years, and it's like, oh, well, some of these years it was down or whatever. Okay, so if it's like 2 point whatever the heck percent on average, and you don't ask for a raise for 3 years, well then yeah, you're actually down like 6% of what they initially started paying you. And if it's a decade, like people that don't ask for that raise and they've been at a job for like 15, 20 years, like they're getting smacked in the face with inflation.
No one learns to think like that though, man. That's the thing. No one learns to really think like that, which sucks for you, because
I used to feel like losing. A conspiracy theorist thinking like that, but like now I feel like people are, the internet and honestly Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has put that in front of people so much, and these type of ideas and spoken about it so much, and people came in to look at NFTs and stuff like that. And while they were debating crypto people about NFTs and how they hated that, they were also forced to learn about this other stuff that people were talking about in the market and inflation and like stuff outside of just their political BS that they were talking about. And then all of a sudden, other than political drama, I don't like this person, this person's ethically blah 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 blah, started to come in this other talk about like, oh well, what about all this money that's been printed and blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, but that fun, and it's just like, I don't know, it entered the market at a certain time, like when you look at that. So I feel like that was like, I don't know, I feel like it was a key takeaway, very important to things. And yeah, we've been riding that sense, so people actually pay more attention to some of these inflation type topics, and we'll see where that goes in the future. I'm sure people will forget soon enough, like the MIB came in and flashed them. But that's that topic. I kind of want to like breeze right past this one right here, which is just the FTX hearing tomorrow. With Unusual Whales, this is happening. This is just a group that's going to be listening to it. But the FTX hearing begins tomorrow.
This is the second. No, I think this is the second one, because I listened to it.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I thought it started like maybe today or something.
So
or maybe it was like a proceeding.
I don't know. I don't know which one it is because there was like some type of a judicial hearing where they were in front of a judge and they said, who you know, they identified some of the stuff that they've been doing, some of the information that they had found. Um, and so I don't. But the thing about it is, like, I don't know if that was in America or if that was in the
Yeah, the
Bahamas or
Bahamas
what.
thing.
It's so confusing what's
Yeah,
going on, but
this is what I'll tell you about like my thing on the
it's
FTX thing. Like,
unprecedented.
I'm just like, yeah, I'll listen to like I'll get the highlights. I'll wait for the highlights at this point. I'm less interested in watching these hearings than I was of like the January 6th or like any other like weird American stuff that's happened over the last three years because we had some weird stuff that you can watch. But like any of like like the Trump era or whatever type of proceeding stuff, I'm less interested to listen to this FTX thing than those things.
Yeah.
It's just like the story is
Also
like
because
beat.
yeah, and also because you don't get all the information at that time. Like you have to wait till later to get all the information out there so that you can make an informed decision on what's actually going on. Because if you're just like constantly reacting to like breaking news, then a lot of that shit is not even real. Like the other day when Sam Bankman-Fried said that he actually donated just as much money to the Democrats as he did to the Republicans. So it's just like people have to realize that you can't try to act like it's just the Democrats who are basically taking money and being corrupt. It's both sides that are fucked up.
They didn't
Not
want
to
to hear
get
that.
political. Not to
Like,
get
yeah, no,
political.
like nobody
Sorry.
wants to hear that. Shut up with that.
Not to get political, but
Don't you
we
try
have
to
to
go
realize
banding the people together? Like,
we have to realize that people are feeding us certain information for a reason, and we have to try to have as much information as we can at any given time to make your opinion about what's going on in a certain situation. And it's hard because there's so much information coming out and you don't know who to trust. And people have been writing puff pieces about Sam Bankman-Fried, and some people have been bringing good information, but it's just like it's ridiculous. You don't know who to trust, who to listen to.
look, at this
You don't
point,
know.
it's good they have a hearing. Like, I'd listen to the hearing. I'm like done with the story. I'm like, this is taken away from learning about actual innovation in
He
crypto and
hasn't been
DeFi.
arrested yet. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, we have people do all sorts of things that don't get arrested.
Yeah.
Like before, they just
So
like walk into the courthouse and they're having their proceedings.
Bernie Madoff stole 65. His like he scammed $65 billion. What Sam did was a drop in the bucket compared to Bernie Madoff. I know
I'm
that
like,
we're
what's the
like
Mount Gox worth
we've
right now?
all
Let me look
been
it up.
we've all been comparing, like everyone's been acting like this is the biggest thing that's ever happened in financial markets. No, this is this is small compared to the other scams that have happened in financial history. It's big for us in crypto because our market cap is not nearly as big as other market caps.
Yeah, let me do some math for you guys because like even like Satoshi was nice to crypto there, and just compare that to financial in general, and that is true. That is true. And you said 65 billion. That might still be more than what I'm about to pull up here. But let's see how much this is times what is it? What's Bitcoin today? Like, let's say it's 6,800. I don't know. That
The
sounds
market cap.
16,800. No, just like the price per Bitcoin. I'm gonna say
Uh,
16,800.
I'm gonna pull up and see what it is. Ooh,
That
you want to know right
is
now? 17,
okay. I'll increase
100.
this number.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't
See,
seen
this is why
17
like
in a while.
I sent that group message, and I was like, bro, y'all don't feel that pump? That's great. I said, hold up, bro. I went and used the bathroom, and this thing is going. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Someone got the early transcript of what Jerome Powell was saying. They decided
Mm,
to go ahead and push the up button.
for real. We still got the December meeting coming up very soon. But I want to do this math real quick on the Mount Gox lost Bitcoin. They said 850,000 Bitcoin was lost for Mount Gox times. I'm just gonna say 17,000 per Bitcoin. That
You gonna share
is million, 100 million. I'm doing a calculator. I don't think I
Oh,
that count.
okay, my bad.
I don't think I can. But this is 100 million. 14. Oh, it's only 14. Damn, I guess Bernie Madoff really just like out here big balling like that. I'm like, this is 100 million. It's
Bernie Madoff
14
got them
billion.
all. And then I'm gonna look up how much that one lady stole
So
from. I forgot what her
that's
name
still
was.
like bigger than
Elizabeth Holmes.
FTX. It would be bigger than FTX today because I think FTX like it was like a 10 billion or something. What they say? It's more than 10
I
billion.
want to
Was it?
say up to, but see, man, that whole like the numbers on all this shit, like the numbers about how much money Sam was trying to raise and how much money he really needed was fucking. There was a large spread in that shit, and then like not Celsius, but um what is it, DCG and the whole like Genesis thing, they were asking for $1 billion, and then all of a sudden they were like, "No, we only need $500 million." It's just like, how much money do y'all need? Like,
See,
like
okay,
we need
we gotta
we need a itemized receipt on
this no
how
we
much money.
look we need blockchain, and that's why Sam said it with like was one of his early tweets, like like yeah, it should be much more blockchain based, and like that's why I did not want to give this any more time because it's just like basic stuff where if you're actually hanging out on the blockchain, you're actually doing trades on stuff like if you're not into DeFi or blockchain technology and you're not really seriously considering like which one of these options, like is it optimism or arbitrum or what ZK Sync got to offer? If you're not thinking about stuff like that, you're probably going to get caught up in something else like FTX as it comes along, quite honestly. And that's exactly why these things were made. So, like, I don't really don't, the FTX, you had your shine today. There you go. We're going to move on to some other macro. I can't take it with them. I can't take it with them. Some other macro, though. Lovely. Brazil passes law to legalize crypto as payment method. Did you see this today? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Congratulations, Brazil.
Take the money, like take the money, take it.
In
Like
Brazil, it's
don't be hard about it. Don't be like, nah, that's not money. No,
yeah,
take it and turn it into whatever money you need to
do
make it
what you want to
into.
do.
You can do it. Do the witchcraft. Say, hey, I got these fucking Dogecoin. Let me turn it to dollars. Magic, science, boom,
Yeah,
do it.
just learn something. Yeah, if you're
Do it.
Brazilian and you're listening to this, I would just, can't help for financial advice or anything like that. It's not what the show does. We're not financial advisors, but I'm an advocate of learning and actually trying things out. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I hate this or that game. Like, what's my real opinion on cricket? I don't know. I haven't played cricket. I don't want to currently I don't really want to watch it or anything like that. Like it's not interesting to me in that capacity. But if somebody's like, yo, you want
Probably
to
a
play some
lot more
cricket to like
fun
learn,
to
you want to like
play
learn some
cricket.
cricket. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I'll learn cricket and then actually get an opinion on like whether or not like some video games are a lot more fun to play than to watch. And you don't learn that unless you actually play the game. Like you're just being bigoted in your opinion. And so I'm very much a proponent of going out there and learning things and actually testing and doing with your hands, but virtually, obviously, in this sense. Shout out to Brazil. I want to make sure I mentioned this today. Along with El Salvador, all of South America might be turning. Like, how long is Venezuela going to hold out? I don't know what their crypto situation. I forget what their crypto situation is, but whatever. More macro topics. I got
I heard
my
that
links.
Venezuela is doing a deal with the U.S. for oil, but I haven't looked into
So,
that yet.
I know they've been they've been Russian buddies for a long time, so that's cool to hear. Oh, here is a more macro topic that I wanted to cover today. I got my links out of order when I had to switch browsers, so let me pop this one up for us. Yeah, and this was Telegram. So Telegram CEO Durov plans to build crypto wallets. Oh my goodness, I feel like maybe that was me that set these dogs off. Crypto wallets, decentralized exchange. So Telegram stepping into the blockchain game. We all know that. Well, I can't say we all, but if you a DeFi or crypto OG, you know the Telegram is the place to go. It's where the communities, the real rough and tough, hello anon communities in crypto are. Discord has been making some ground in this game, and quite honestly, I like Discord as a gamer, but Telegram is like, I mean, it's like the 4chan. Telegram is the 4chan of like crypto hangout places, and then like Discord is Reddit. It's just a little bit cleaner. That's just how it is. So that's how you want to think of those. But yeah, Telegram stepping into the game. I thought this was pretty cool. And in tandem with this, I like to say that Discord then tweeted this out today, which is, "What if I told you you can start making money on Discord tomorrow?" I don't know if there's a follow up to this tweet from when I saw it, but I was like, "Yo, excuse me. What are your feelings? So, how does that make you feel, Satoshi?" So last tweet still.
If I could make some money on Discord, that'd be great. Because
What do you think
there's
they
a lot of
mean by
scammers. I mean, I don't know. They could. I mean, there would have to be some type of way to do some type of payments, I guess, on Discord. I mean, there has to be a way to track what you're doing on Discord.
You can already do payments on Discord technically. Like if you're familiar with things like CC I like the CC bot.
I don't know what CC bot is.
It's a crypto. It's a CC tip bot.
Okay.
But it's a cryptocurrency tipping bot, and it works on Discord. You can even do like airdrops to like certain numbers of people and stuff like that. But basically, it's like it acts as like a Discord custodial wallet for when you have, and it never connects to your actual wallet. It'll just send to your out of Discord wallet. But your individual Discord name is basically linked to a then in Discord custodial wallet for yourself.
Okay. But how do you make money using that though?
Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know for the making money portion. I just figured, I'm like, when they said making money, I'm like, maybe this is what they mean. Like, and if they integrate NFTs a little bit better or something like that, that might be something. But then what they usually reference,
some type of pay to post type thing, maybe some type of way. What would be cool is if they make some type of way for Discord servers to incentivize activity with some type of monetary. I don't know. Maybe they're going to come out with a Discord token and do an airdrop. And then it'll be some game. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe in the perfect world, every user gets a wallet, and the more activity you have on Discord, the more the moderators can give you some type of value on Discord. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow will be an interesting day in Discord land if they actually come through with what they're talking about. I'm interested to see what they say, especially it being on the heels of this Telegram news.
Is it already supposed to be dropping tomorrow?
It should be. That's their last tweet from 8 hours ago. What if I told you can start making money on Discord tomorrow?
Oh shit! Okay, I didn't see the tomorrow part.
Yep, tomorrow. So interested to see what they say. Yeah. Also, Discord recently integrated with Xbox, so that's really cool. You can join Discord channels on the Xbox, which is nice for me because sometimes my buddies are playing like PC or whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, just jump in the Discord chat," and it's like, "No, fam, I'm not jumping in the dang Discord chat, so I can't hear gameplay at all." So thank you for the integration. Let me switch this over.
No.
Or who's?
They're either in that closet or the other closet.
One second. All right.
My bad.
Good Gotti. You good Gotti is life. What do I want to shout next? Yeah, so I thought that was like a fun little thing. Let me clear these two out. And I'm interested to see what Discord does to keep up. The technology is there. Me6 already works on stuff like that. CC bots have been doing that for years. Interested to see if they actually step into that arena or not. And we got JB Morgan. I'm going to clear this list out a little bit. All right, starting to move into our topic change. Which brings us into our second topic of the day, which is DeFi topics. It's my favorite topic. It's again, things are still happening in cryptocurrency. It's not crypto's dead yet. Crypto's on another leg. these first one that I wanted to bring up. This is just a tweet from Michael Warble. I forget. I feel like, you know what, you're on some podcast or something, I feel like. Anyways, what he's talking about is true, and you can see it in multiple places in crypto. So fair likely bring up today, which is just that Cardano is on another wave. It seems like traction has been picking up for Cardano, or at least interest in Cardano. And I'm judging this by, the emotional spheres of things, I guess. This is some, trustless degen type, letting you know my analysis of things. But what's he talking about here? Cardano's first decentralized stablecoin, DJET, and people point out below that it's actually not the first decentralized stablecoin, but it's the first one that's getting attention. You know how that happens in crypto all the time. Yeah, DJET coming out. I forget if this one, I think it's actually algorithmic, which is sad if it is. I would hope not. But yeah, that's coming out. It's Cardano's first. And the real takeaway here is just that DeFi is continuing on Cardano. Cardano is being recognized by nations. It's growing. So yeah, there's, especially in crypto circles, a lot of fun around Cardano, but Cardano still seems to be doing its thing in DeFi. Any opinions on Cardano?
It would be pretty cool if they got their own little stable coin. I'm not sure about the name of their stable coin. It's kind of weird, but I mean,
it's decentralized.
Yeah. I mean, you can be as decentralized as you want, but I need that stable coin to work how it now needs to work at all times. So I guess it'll just take some time for them to, get established and see how their stablecoin works and where the value kind of comes from, and I guess we'll kind of go from there. I think stablecoins are an interesting play in this market. Like making more stablecoins is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not opposed to stable coins, as you may know. Hold on, there was one article that I wanted to share in here, but I'll find it later. But yeah, I'm not opposed to stable coins in the market. I feel like, actually, I gotta find it now. Because it's just perfect timing for it. Perfect. While we're talking about stable coins specifically, which was Curve Finance. So we're gonna wrap two different topics in a bow here. What do we do here? For these topics. So this article is going to talk about Curve, which recently launched the white paper and code, so open source things, for their stable coin. This is another stable coin. I think it's over collateralized. So the over collateralized, I would like this one more than DJET if DJET is not over collateralized, which I was hearing algorithmic stable coin. Maybe it's got some type of combination. I don't know. Frax is like a combination type, and I don't like Frax as much as other stable coins. But who knows?
Which chain is Frax on?
A lot of chains. Frax is even on Doge chain, but I think you can only use the Frax token. The Frax exchange is on a lot of chains. Which exchanges can you, or which chains exactly can you use Frax on? I would say probably like major ones, like without confirming. I mean, for sure Ethereum, without confirming the Arbitrum and the Optimisms. Maybe it's gotten to those ones yet, like a Polygon and like Avalanche, Phantom, serious financial ones. Other guys, I wouldn't really expect them to have Frax, but Frax is a powerhouse. Just to prove what we're saying here, let's go over to DeFi Llama. If you don't use DeFi Llama, I suggest trying to use it. It's a good place to go and find out information on different tokens, things in crypto. And I'm just gonna scroll down here, let's go scroll down a little bit. Like how long until I come across? I hope I didn't already pass them, honestly. Like how long until I come across the Frax dogs? Arrakis, there it was. Yeah, I'm like already past them. Number 12 in all of cryptocurrency, Frax. On all of these chains, Ethereum, Phantom, Doge Chain, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, and two more being Avalanche, which we mentioned, and then Moonbeam. So again, anything that's actually about finance, stuff like that. And honestly, as much as Doge Coin is a joke, if you were on Doge Chain, you're a damn techie. you a blockchain nerd, bro, if you was on Doge Chain. So yeah, it fits the bill. Nobody else is going to be using it, especially not in the bear market. No one else was using it. You knew what you were doing. And there's not even content like this is how you easily get the Dogecoin. It's like, or Doge chain. It's nah. But just showing how strong Frax is in general. It's a big token. When we talk about where Frax is in general, take note of Curve right here at number 4 overall in the DeFi spaces. And I guess this all flipped a little bit recently because maybe they got like a boost. Maybe they got a boost. As of most recently, which is what I was going to cover next, Pancake Swap had actually, for some time, flipped all of these other exchanges right here. So what's their TVL right now? The Pancake TVL is 2.92 billion. These guys have 3 all the way up to 3.6, 3.8. So it had not flipped Curve quite yet, but it did flip Uniswap the other day. So I imagine it was up in the 3 point something billion range the other day. It flipped Uniswap, it flipped Convex. These are like the nerdiest of like DeFi protocols that hold the entire ecosystem down, y'all. Pancake Swap was up here, like swimming, just chilling. I'm good. I'm chilling. But Pancake Swap has been making moves. If you're like a crypto person and you want to speculate, you want to trade or whatever the heck, a lot of people are on Binance Smart Chain. As much as it has, centralized components to it in terms of like the validators, like and how many validators they have. And I believe they have like 21 validators. And most recently I was doing some research and I believe Polygon, for example, only has like 12 or something like that. So it's like 2 times more than like Polygon, for an example.
Or Solana. I wonder how many validators Solana has, especially now. They probably lost some validators.
Yeah, they might have lost. I feel like they have more. I feel like it's somewhere close to the Binance number. But Polygon just didn't really have a lot, which is interesting because they're like one of the top chains in terms of TVL, I believe, as well. It's like it's really, really high up there when you like look at. We can look at. I'm getting all into stuff. Let me look at chains. It's like 3, 4, something like that. There's like Tron is up there. No, nobody likes to hear that. Yeah, and then number 4, and then Arbitrum. And I was like, yeah, if you're not paying attention, making this decision, do I want to be with the Arbitrum or the Optimism? How much are you really into DeFi like that in crypto? Because I feel like, you got to choose a side. Like, I don't know, I might have to do a voting or something like that. Like, it's Arbitrum or Optimism, fam. I want to try out some Optimism stuff, but I feel like Arbitrum where it's at. I feel like it feels good.
I feel like you got to use both of them, and whichever one makes it is whichever one makes it.
Look at all these protocols, bro. Optimism had the head start, I think.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure. And 142 on Arbitrum. There was another tweet that we had in here somewhere that was actually talking about that. Maybe it's here. Yes. Unique contracts deployed by week on Ethereum layer 2's massive surge in developer activity on Arbitrum. So Optimism versus Arbitrum there. And Arbitrum sticking out in the pack. They have yet to launch a token. So that's something else that Optimism has on Arbitrum, is that Optimism has a token out. Arbitrum is supposed to be launching a token. It is not out yet. When's that token coming out, Arbitrum?
We're waiting.
That's an opportunity, folks. That's an opportunity you probably don't want to miss. Yeah. So mentioning that, like to make sure we mention stuff like that. Let's keep it DeFi. Covered a few topics in there. Here's what that looked like the other day. Screenshot. Pancake Swap. Oh, and this is a late one itself because it did eventually jump over Uniswap. So even this one is a little late. Short-lived, but yeah, it was in that 3 billion range, bro. Pancake up there. Hey, man, I remember when I first saw it. I said, yo, there is a place that nobody is talking about. It said some $100 million. Like, they do it like that over here. Why is nobody talking about this place?
Pancake Swap, man.
Goodness. Like at the time, like Ethereum projects would be like, for it to be like a decent sized Ethereum project, it would have to have like $200,000 in it or something like that. And you'd be like, hey, it's kind of, got some decent TVL. It's not just going to like drop like that. We seeing what's happening. And yeah, I feel like I don't know, man. Like obviously there were the big boys, but like in Degen land, folks in Degen land. But yeah, I went to Binance Smart Chain like December 2000. Was that 2020? Something like that. And then, yeah, bro, it was lit. It was lit. It changed everything. Because we was looking for a place after Tron for the real Degens. He was looking for a place after Tron. Tron just got a little too expensive. Thank you for the pump, though. But yeah, let's keep it moving. I found this to be an interesting blockchain article, or not. It's not an article, but it's a thing that I would pay attention to if I was a blockchain connoisseur, right? And DeFi connoisseur, which was this tweet by this lady who is another tweet, obviously CEO of Sigmum Growth Capital. Don't know. What I did like to see in here was that Faucet Clan board. Oh, okay. Ex Guggenheim, Evercore, Polkadot, Bitcoin, and it's more importantly what she's talking about here. After 3 years of working closely with the SEC, we are excited to speak more publicly about DOT morphing from a security to a non-security. It's software. So I don't know. For me, this was a really interesting tweet where I've always been kind of bullish on Polkadot in general, the technology. Like, makes sense. Pair chains, cool. Anything like subchains, whatever, anything to help scale, like scaling solutions.
Like
makes
the
sense.
parachains, the layer zeros, the optimisms. Which one is going to work for the most people?
Yeah, and here she was saying that this is basically, this was for the engineers, and I was also here, they're like, this is for the gamers. But yeah, they want Polkadot to be more for that. So if that's the case, and we're talking about Web3 Miami, yes, Ethereum is the supercomputer of blockchain, I'll call it, but that doesn't mean that there's not a normal computer or just internet in general that things run on. As things make their way down the line. And so I don't know. I feel like without knowing too much about them, like things like Cosmos or Polkadot have the potential to fill those type of voids that might exist in this space. So always keep my eye on Polkadot. This is what I would consider bullish news on Polkadot, and a reason for anybody who's interested in that specific token to maybe dive into things a little bit deeper around what they've been doing during this bull market, because this piqued my curiosity as somebody who's typically keeping a tab on the project. Any feelings on that before we move on? I know that was long.
Well, Polkadot's CEO or one of their co-founders stepped down a couple weeks ago. Gavin Wood, I think his name is.
I know that name.
Other than that, Polkadot's been kind of they've got some. I'm sure they got some stuff going on. I haven't been hearing about much that's being built over there, but I assume that they're still, with this news that came out, they're still building, to some point. I think the what I used the most on Polkadot was it Moonriver? I think I did a couple things on Moonriver, I think. And I think that was it, really. But there's some other things going on over there.
Hold the door. Before we keep going on this Polkadot thing, thank you for that. Because, that's right. Those Moonrivers. And you got me on we got over there. We over there. Mr. Huckleberry.
Huckleberry, yeah.
But I had to notice this. I had to point it out. Sorry for the Solana folks. This got me. I'm gonna make it a little bit nicer for you guys in a second. Look at Solana down here, 200 million TVL. It's supposed to be a top dog. You're supposed to be a big player. What you doing? All the Solana hype online and this and that, and blah 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 blah. It's like bro, it is not big dog. Look who is right behind you, Mixon. Who the fuck are they? It's like when somebody points I went to more of like an inner city school, so it's like when people point at your shoes, it's like, what are those? Just,
bro, I think that
have the real ones on,
dude. Also, Kronos. Does Kronos have something to do with crypto.com?
Yeah, that's crypto.com's blockchain.
Okay, well, Phantom is on top of them.
Phantom is a blockchain, Andre Cornier, and specifically for blockchain finance. So nerds, I'm interested to see it up there because it doesn't have all the fun that other blockchains are kind of going after. It's straight up serious business.
But they have a lot of money. Like they came out with a report the other day that said that they have a lot of like their foundation, I think, or whoever's running Phantom has a lot of money left to like develop it and like to give the developers and shit.
They probably.
And I think they're only like, I wanted to say they have like $300 million dollars in there. I think how much they spend per year is like $7 million or something like that.
Look at this, bro. Solana back here fighting with Clayton.
I'm sorry. Bro, Solana's big dead, bro. I'm so sick of Solana.
Okay, this is what I'll say about Solana though. I said I was gonna bring it back home for Solana people and like something more positive, which is that okay. The thing with Solana, right, is that I guess a lot of this money was tied up in things like they suffered from both attacks, I'm calling attacks, but like both of these big, massive VC backed, like traditional issues with blockchain, which is why people were like, yeah, I don't like the VC back stuff and blah, 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 blah. I don't like these big businesses. I'd rather it be some grassroots clawed its way through being ethical and making sense and trustless. And
yeah, dude.
But Solana didn't have that going for it, but they had all this money that shot up all of a sudden. And so everybody paid attention because look at this. Boom, parabolic.
Solana had the VCs. They had Sam, they had FTX, they had Alameda, they had a lot of other Silicon Valley people that were pumping the shit out of Solana.
And this is my thing though. This is my thing. So like that's, and then they suffered. So I guess they had like some funds tied up in Terra Luna, and they had some funds tied up in FTX and stuff like that with the Sam Bankman-Fried stuff. And so all this money's being drained out of Solana for the last all year. Drained out of Solana.
Look. Alameda Research bought Solana for 4 cents. 4 cents. It went to $200. It was almost $300 damn near at one point. Imagine being able to buy something like that for 4 cents.
With big money. Oh my goodness.
Bro. It's wild.
Yeah. This is what it is, but this is my thing about that. So all that happened, the money's obviously depleting from Solana, but this is a lot of crypto, a lot of different blockchains similar to this, but we know the story behind why this happened to Solana, and not everybody looks as drastic, but we know what happened with Solana's situation. Okay, so my thing though was if a lot of this money was being withdrawn most recently due to FTX situation, because it was, like a lot of their TVO and some of these bigger projects was FTX money and stuff, and they have to pull all this stuff out. So, and we can look at this chart like right here, like Lido over here, probably Radium, since it was a big one, probably Marinade, just giving it an idea where some of these funds might have been, and some of these big ones. I would look at those, or I'm going to be, because I'm going to go in when everybody's like dead on Solana. I'm like, it's going to be some play money. And yeah, I'm going to start jumping in some of these. I know Maple's a serious project. And hopefully a lot of the TV or the yields are potentially higher. Because one thing about DeFi is when the more people that jump into a pool in DeFi, maybe this gets solved later, but the more people that jump into a liquidity pool to farm out that token or to earn that token, that interest with, the more saturated it becomes, and the less that you actually earn because you're competing with more people. So yes, you want TVL so that things are safe. You want enough TVL, but you also want there to be a certain range so that you can make more. And with that much of their money disappearing, and a lot of these projects that are suffering from that disappeared money, being more serious projects, like that's not their fault. Yeah, not really their fault. I'm gonna start swimming around. I'm gonna find some way to get over here that doesn't mess with one of these shady bridges, and I'm gonna start swimming around and seeing what I can find as far as yields in Solana. DeFi Llama is a great place to find those type of yields. I haven't played with Solana specifically, but they do have a nice little breakdown of things like that. So letting folks know. Would you DeFi on Solana, Satoshi? Would you dare?
Uh, I did a lot of stuff on Solana before it blew up. Now I'm not. I sold all my Solana. I'm not messing with it. I need I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, if you find something on there that's fun, that looks good, I wouldn't risk it all on that. But maybe that is the thing. I think that there is still some downside to come on Solana, but hey, I've been wrong about a lot of things. So
I mean, I wouldn't really be holding the token myself. Like, I would hold enough the
I
token to do like
wouldn't.
transactions, and people are like, "Oh, it's like nothing." And even then, again, I would like this is how I feel about Solana. Quite honestly, again, I said play money before y'all, so I'm like, look, if I would spend I'd spend around video game money on it, and the most they're gonna get me is on some like ridiculous platinum level game stuff where it's like it's 125, you get all the bonuses, and I'm like, this is crazy. And that's the most they would ever get out of me. That's the most they're not getting any extra skins or nothing. And then I would immediately convert all that Solana. Like, I'm not gonna hold Sol. I'm gonna hold some other. I'm gonna hold like USDC. I'm gonna hold ETH. I'm gonna hold Bitcoin. I'm gonna hold the wrap version of one of these tokens I actually care about on Solana.
It's hard. It's hard to hold those wrap tokens on Solana because, dude, the liquidity for USDC got pulled. I heard. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I heard that there's not really much USDC on Solana.
It said there was like $2 billion worth of, but I don't know how that's mixed out. And like, I don't know if that's
a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like they still got some money there. It's just like, it's just been depleted to, not happy days.
There are
I imagine
a lot
they still
of
got
people.
Something.
Look, as far as Solana goes, this is how I feel about it. There are a lot of people who bought Solana for a lot cheaper than what the price of Solana is right now. And, it's just like you want to, if you're going to buy Solana, buy it to use it for something. Some NFTs, another staking project or something. Buy it to use it for something. Don't just buy it to be like that. I'm about to be, unless you're prepared to hold it for multiple years. Like it has decent technology. I feel like it's fast, and the gas fees. You don't have to look at that too much. So that's good. But the fact that so many VCs and people got to buy Solana for 4 cents, like that's a lot. I'm not sure if all those people have sold yet. Obviously not. Like
Polygon flipping Solana. How is it not already there?
Dude, Polygon the move.
When there's Polygon versus Solana, I don't understand how Solana was able to take so much from Polygon in this race, other than the fact that they're VC backed and could probably advertise or buy more people to like talk about it. They had to have the right people talk about it or something, and like those people had to like start avoiding Polygon, because I don't get it. Polygon is like all over the FT market stuff. Why is Solana even competing?
To me, the one reason I would use Solana over Polygon is the fact that Solana doesn't throw the gas fee in your face the way that MetaMask and on Polygon and on Ethereum, how it throws the gas fee in your face and says, "Oh, how much do you want to use on gas?" Solana cuts that out, kind of just like Tron. You don't notice because it doesn't tell you that the gas fee is so small that you're paying on those chains that you don't even have to really deal with that step. So it's one step removed from having to say, okay, I'm actually spending this amount of money on my gas fees. No.
But do you actually think that when you're spending on Polygon?
Do you what?
Do you actually think that when you're spending on Polygon, like transaction fees?
It makes me angry that I have to look at
increase
even increase it, decrease it. It makes me angry that it says like, look, this is how much gas you have to pay. No, like I don't want to push my transaction through. Don't be like, look,
make it happen.
Look, man. This guy's paying. This guy's paying $13,000 just to get this transaction through. If you don't have $13,000, your transaction might not go through. No. Make my transaction go through, no matter what. Even if it's going to be slower, okay, fine. Don't tell me that. Just let it go through eventually.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. Thank you. You took that. I hear you. But we'll see. I feel like with all this funding coming in, eventually Polygon's going to be able to. I just see that as being like the case. It was always a shocker to me that it like happened, and I was really conservative about jumping on the Solana train because of all that. I feel like Solana, if Solana is like the video game franchise of the future to me right now is what it looks like. Like this is like a new Xbox company trying to emerge from blockchain is what I truly see Solana as being. So like take with that as you will. But that being the case, there is a version of Solana then, and I'm comparing it to Polygon in a sense, that is trying to do a little more of a decentralized, and a little bit more of like a connection to that decentralized mantra with its using Ethereum and all this other stuff, and EVM compatible. But Solana does not have, and so I would see Polygon winning the race due to that. But that said, there do have to be people to compete in other lanes. But I don't see Solana as being the one to do that. Like there's Avalanche, which people don't understand all the way. There's Polkadot, there's Cosmos. Those are going to be the ones that I see in that type of category.
There are a lot of other projects out there that are just that don't have that Grim Reaper over their souls. That's just like, oh yeah, we have a lot of your tokens.
Don't forget.
We're going to sell them. Don't forget that we basically made your token. Like. Which I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Solana. There's a lot of developers on there. There's a lot of people doing real stuff on there. But hopefully they can get through the bear market. If they can make it through the bear market, then they can make it. I've seen projects.
I think a lot of the Solana people are gonna stick around because they're like, they have this real community vibe. From what I can tell from a lot of Solana folks, which is why I'm like, dang, we could use you guys on Arbitrum or I'm like handing out I'm gonna be like handing out pamphlets. Can I see you on Arbitrum? It's like later this week. Like, yeah. All right. Cool. I can see you there.
Solana is really cool, but have you tried Optimism?
Optimistic roll. Yeah, that's just how I feel. To roll this thing out, I wanted to mention the exploiter real quick, as I'm calling him. His name again, it's gonna say it somewhere in here. The guy that hacked basically or exploited Mango on Solana actually. And you'd have to I was thinking about going over to Solana and using Mango, and then this guy just ruined it.
I'm convinced that every scammer on Solana is Sam Bankman-Fried.
No, this one's Abraham Eisenberg, who became famous after doing this Mango exploit and becoming the most well-paid bounty finder in crypto when the Mango Treasury decided to pay him those fees.
AKA when he decided to pay himself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this Mango situation. All right, so this guy tried to also exploit. Was it Curve? No, it was Aave. He was using Aave and he was shorting Curve, I guess. And so he was trying to bring the price of Curve down. And Curve was plummeting and this and that. And eventually, I think people on crypto Twitter, I saw people mentioning it and stuff like that. I guess eventually the community, somebody stepped in and there was a short squeeze, and they changed it. And he eventually got liquidated. However, the situation left Aave with some bad debt. And I really have to look up more of I did a little research around what they meant by bad debt. Obviously, they were it's just bad debt. It's it needs to be covered. They have, the things that I read said they have enough to solve it and stuff like that. It's it really is not an issue like that. But that it happened. Again, this guy got liquidated for doing so. So blockchain work like blockchain's supposed to work. I don't understand it. Again, need to do more research on the bad debt thing. And if you want to beat me to it, that's something that you want to become crypto big brain. Probably want to understand stuff like that. What's the bad debt? What's some of these potential exchanges? Is that just a term they're using for? I don't know. I don't know. Really got to look into it. I'm mentioning that also because Abracadabra recently, which runs the token MIM, Magic Internet Money, calls for on Sushi for emergency assistance as Falte Oracle places $10 million at risk. So
What?
yeah, so just some stuff here. This is I didn't see this in the little short writing, but Ren BTC Cauldron could accrue bad debt if open positions are not closed, and so Ren has the whole FTX drama and stuff like that attached to it, where Ren was getting funding from FTX or Alameda, like
Ren
every
has to
whatever
go.
that.
If you ask me, Ren's
Yeah,
got to go. It's over.
yeah, Ren's probably not going to make it.
No,
Ren
Ren.
not going to make it.
Ren's got to go. I'm sorry.
We gotta
I
have
keep
not gonna make it
I keep
section.
hearing their name get brought up in some fuck shit. It's over.
Yeah, Ren doesn't look like Ren's gonna make it, man.
And, bro, it's crazy. So I don't know. I've never been as close to any of this bullshit as I was to FTX. I can probably say. But it was crazy because all I was doing was cashing out on FTX. Like, I wasn't holding anything on FTX. I wasn't like trading on FTX. I was just literally putting money in my bank account from FTX. And it's still scary to me. It's just like, bro, what the fuck was going on?
Got locked in there.
And this sushi, this Ren shit. I keep hearing about Ren being tied up with FTX, and it's not good at all.
Dun dun dun. Well, look, if you end up being right and Sushi ends up having some type of weird problem or something like that, Pancake Swap is just going to totally take over the market. Well, I guess there's also Uniswap then too. Maybe Uniswap would step up because then like you see Uniswap still there. It'd be like, yeah, Sushi, you lost your vampire attack game.
Sushi is cool though because Sushi has several chains, right?
Yeah, there are multiple chains,
which was pretty cool. But I mean, yeah, if my theory is right, which is total speculation. If SBF is Sushi Sefnomi, or if Sushi is somehow involved with fucking FTX, then it's not going to be good for Sushi. Eventually, where is Sushi at on that list of all the dexes and stuff?
The dexes, probably not too far down. Let me go back over here. That was just we'll just go to overview. They're probably top 5. I mean, it's going to be like top 10 probably, honestly. Not in the top 10, but okay, maybe I was right. Top 25, 17. So okay. 17 with almost $500 million. But yeah, losing that battle to Pancake Swap up there in comparison.
Pancake Swap is eating, bro.
Is a dog. Pancake Swap, a dog. You know what I'm saying? Frax. Pancake Swap above Frax. A dog. But I mean, it should be. I don't know. I compare like, what do you use? What do you feel more comfortable with? It should be. I wanted to mention this portion down here in this article that says news comes as Ren, a cross-chain asset wrapping protocol, is preparing to shut down its V1 network and launch its V2 iteration. On November 19, Ren announced it would be, and I imagine this is because of the Alameda. So Ren announced the next run version of its protocol after collapse of Alameda Research and solvent sister trading firm bankruptcy XTX, which required Ren in early 2021. Without Alameda, Ren said it's only funding to sustain its current operations until the end of the year, and is currently looking to raise funds. So yeah, Ren having issues. The ability to transition from Ren to send token minting functionality and shut it down to V1. Taking this bridge assets back to their native chain as soon as possible. Woo! It's not pretty. In Ren land, it sounds like Ren is just going down.
Ren is over. The Ren party is over.
Party is over. Party is also over for BlockFi, who filed for bankruptcy. That happened. Yeah, I feel bad for Pomp.
It's
okay, Pomp.
Yeah, I feel bad for all the people who promoted for FTX, but also, I mean, it's just like, hopefully they have enough money to cover their asses.
Yeah, they probably do. They probably do. But yeah, wanted to mention that, and then our final topic of the day. I don't know if we're gonna cover this one. I'll mention this really quickly. It's not really the final topic. Uniswap calls its new NFT aggregator a Google search for trading. So Uniswap has an NFT aggregator. I imagine, without even going into this too far in depth, it's to do with the fact that are you familiar with Uniswap V3?
I
Have
mean,
you
just
used Uniswap in V3?
if I've traded it just on the decks, then probably. But I think so.
Okay. Yeah, V3 is like I haven't put any liquidity in Uniswap since like V2. I think V2, and not very much in V2. I feel like most of my stuff's like in V1 or something, honestly. But there's 3 versions of Uniswap now. And with V3, liquidity, when you pair, I'm sure you're familiar with pairing together liquidity. Yeah. You take 2 assets. This is for everybody else. You take 2 assets. Let's say it's Ethereum. You want to make a Ethereum liquidity pair. You take and you want to use $100 to make a liquidity pair. So you take $50 of Ethereum and $50 of USDC or some other token, and you basically stick them together, and now you have liquidity pair of Ethereum on Uniswap. In V3 of Uniswap, unlike previously, where when you did this, you would actually have like a number. It'd be like 0.004 tokens or whatever, and these are your LP tokens that you switch to farms and stuff like that. In V3 of Uniswap, you are actually sent an NFT. So you do not have the token things as before. I feel like this is going under the radar for a lot of people because it just kind of happened, and I was like, "Oh, that's a thing." But in V3, yeah, you're sent an NFT, and yeah, it exists as an NFT, and it shows like a little bell curve of your position. So Uniswap V3 is also different than the other versions of Uniswap, and that you choose a range for your assets, your liquidity pair. And so it's like a range that you'll stay in the liquidity pair for, so that you're not affected by impermanent loss in some way that you were not comfortable with, basically. So if like if it starts to go up in one direction too much, then you like exit the position, and you set that ahead of time, and so all this information is displayed on the NFT, and it can change and stuff. So that's Uniswap V3's NFTs. And so when they mention this whole aggregator marketplace, I could imagine them jumping in this direction, because all of a sudden all of your positions in DeFi for Uniswap, these which are earning fees, and then but it's like money attached to these NFTs, are all of a sudden you have a whole bunch of NFTs. What do you do with them? You can keep using OpenSea and stuff like that, or maybe you start to take some of that game. And so pretty cool here. I had to read more into this to get more of their say on it, but I'm also not surprised. Any takes?
They also did that Genie airdrop. That was it was like anyone who had used their Genie app, which allows you to like buy multiple NFTs at once, I think, somehow. But some people, so if you use Genie, and you might have a little bit of Uniswap airdrop somewhere waiting on you.
This is pretty cool. It says, as part of the launch, Uniswap will be offering limited gas rebates to its first 22,000 aggregator users on their first transaction, up to 0.1 ETH, roughly $12, all the way until December 14th. So I guess it's before whichever one runs out, whether they get 22,000 people to use it first, or 22,000 transactions, or for December 14th. Rebates can be claimed after January 6th through the Uniswap app. That's the trouble there, though. So I'm like, wait, I got to claim the rebate? You're not just going to send it to me? Do I have to interact with a smart contract? That's not cool. I don't want to interact with something to get the money back. It's nice to get something back for it. I guess that's the nice thing. It's like, it's giving you some money back. You're getting something back for it. You're probably not going to be in a loss for the gas, is what's happening. But yeah, dear dad, that was again not supposed to be the last. Where's the last one? Where's the last one? Here we go. Actual last topic was this MetaMasking. What you sharing with us?
What the fuck, MetaMask?
MetaMask, or what's the name of the company? Is it Census or Consensus?
Infra? Is it Infra? Maybe not. One of their.
I know Infra has to. There it is, Consensus.
Oh, okay.
Because I know Infra has something to do with it. I know because I know like I feel like ended up doing that research in that department once there was that whole like wallet scare thing back in whatever. But yeah, Consensus. Anyways, it's owned by a company, guys. MetaMask will start collecting user IP addresses. How do it make you feel? Ew. It made me feel ew. A
Yeah,
little
I don't
bit.
like it. I don't like it at all.
It also, like, I play devil's advocate with myself. It also made me think of MetaMask, maybe, trying to mature in a sense. And again, earlier I mentioned this whole battle for the internet, basically, kind of like type of thing, where there needs to be these Web 3.0 versions of things. And where I think of like internet service providers or computer networks or whatever the heck have you, one of these things, your internet service provider, is tracking your IP address. They do have your IP address to whatever the heck. So there's that situation with it. And I dug down the rabbit hole a little bit. And I was like, let me learn a little bit more about IP addresses. I feel like I'm just not familiar enough, other than like use VPN to switch IP address. What is there to know about IP addresses? Why would this actually matter to somebody? Apparently, all of somebody probably knows all this stuff, but all of the devices in your home basically use the same IP address, and so you can't tell who under what roof or even what block sometimes, or I guess or whatever, is using whatever specific device under IP address. It does not specifically locate you in such a manner. There is a way for your internet service provider with an IP address. So like in general, somebody can't just like, boom, this is the person behind that IP address. It's not that simple. There is a way for your internet service provider, the person who's providing your internet, to go, this is the account. This is not necessarily where they are, etc. Blah, 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 but this is the account that is connected with that specific device IP address. So there is a way for them, the internet service provider, to do that. The internet service provider will not do that unless they have a warrant from the police. Which also just like, I'm like, oh, well, that sounds nice. It sounds nice in current world of blockchain and everything like that and whatever have you. But with something like this happening with MetaMask, and when I'm thinking like more toward the future, I could imagine easily there being like some type of law where like if your business is working and blah, 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 and you track somebody's IP address, blah, 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 then you have to be able to give that information over to it. And it's just like, they don't need a warrant. They just can like find that type of
Willingly, yeah.
Yeah, and even if they didn't need one, well, then all they have to do is like come. I don't know. Like part of it is like they can already do some of that stuff to a degree. Like what's MetaMask really matter in the equation of it? I don't think it matters that much in the overall equation of it. I think the bigger takeaway here for people that like really don't like this is to do the thing that Bitcoin OGs have been saying for the longest amount of time. If you really listen to Bitcoin OGs, which is use a VPN when you transact cryptocurrency online. Like I've heard so many of them say that for like so long, and like this whole thing with MetaMask and them tracking that and my research into IPs like really let me be like, oh, well, that's why you would want to, because regardless, even with MetaMask not doing it, if Uncle Sam or whatever country you're in wants to know who's attached to that IP, they could do the warrant thing and go to your internet service provider and find out who visited what and blah, who you were. So it doesn't matter. The only way that you're going to get around that is if you switch the IP address to somewhere else and you actually make yourself somewhat anonymous in that sense. So that was interesting. That was a fun little interesting thing, and that's why people are so big on VPNs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you aware of all that? A lot of that was kind of new to me. A little bit about VPNs and
Exactly how MetaMask does it was new to me, but I mean, I assumed that they kind of already were doing that type of thing. Well, actually, what had came out is that they were kind of already doing that, and they just put it in their terms because they kind of found out that they had to tell people. But there's a way kind of around it. If you switch the node that you're using to a different node, then I heard you can kind of skirt out of sharing your IP address. Also, the VPNs are interesting technology that people should look into if you don't know what they are. There's a lot of access that you can get online with a VPN.
For shizzle.
So I'll kind of leave it at that. It kind of goes as small as being able to watch restricted Netflix streaming, and as far as being able to get into a certain type of investments or a certain type of early crypto things or other type of things you can participate in by not having an American IP address.
Yeah. Facts on facts on facts. It's like, yeah, that's why people can generally do things that they want to do on the internet if they know how to do it. All comes down to a matter of research. But that's gonna wrap for today. I guess my last question to you while we roll things out was just that we at the beginning of the day, mentioned how we were feeling over the last 2 weeks. How are your feelings about and maybe part of it continues into this, but how are your feelings on cryptocurrency this week? Specifically in the market after your whatever, has you still, how's it got you feeling?
What I've been thinking is that all the stuff that actually happened just kind of was kind of a big advertisement to more decentralization, advertisement for a lot of the wallets out there that have tokens like Tron Wallet, or no, not Tron Wallet. Sorry, Trust Wallet. Some of the other ones like SafePal Wallet and like Life Wallet, and other wallets kind of pumped. People bought a lot of ledgers. A lot of people took their Bitcoin off of exchanges. A lot of people learning about cold storage, and I think that's good. I think that people should learn about that type of stuff. People need to be reminded about why we're here. We kind of got jaded with all the institutional and all the big money coming in, that we're forgetting that that's not the reason why we're here. Like all this lending and leverage and all this yield and loans and stuff is kind of like, it's kind of a roadblock to us a little bit. And these regulators and people wanting to have a say, and people taking money from people in our space because they have it, and it's just like that's your money that this guy took. So we have to learn more about the actual technology, the wallets, the decentralized exchanges, cold storage, self-custody. That's the stuff that's valuable here, and that's the stuff that we need to learn about and teach other people about. It's interesting stuff because it's valuable, but it's just like it's not as exciting as getting 9% yield on your stable coins. Like that gets people excited, earning money on yield. But just having a wallet that came from keys that you generated offline, and being able to not get hacked with that stuff is a very interesting play that a lot of more people need to look into.
See, well put. And I'll say to them too, because I totally agree with that. There's nothing I can say against that. But I'll just say also that it extends past, like, yes to all the wallet stuff, but extends past that also to, I feel like if I were to go to this first page here of let me pop this back on screen really quickly to make this point. If we go to this page here on DeFi Llama, this first page, overview page. and I were to scroll down this, and I could talk to like most Degens, I feel like most Degens, and you like go through this and like ask them, uh, not just what each one of these are, but like how they work, how they actually function. And he said all these are just like the top 10, top 12, whatever the heck, protocols in all crypto. Most people aren't going to know. Most people aren't going to know exactly how they all work individually. Probably should. We probably should. And this website's doing some help. Or I can't play like the guessing game of like, oh, what's Balancer? Like, yeah, Balancer is a DEX, it's a decentralized exchange. What does it do? And like, why is it special and stuff like that? Well, it's the way that you're able to pair your assets together. Like some of these things I know, but do I know all of them like by heart and like what they actually do? Like what's so special about them? All the different components of Uniswap and this and like no. But that's the level of like education that people have to continue to do to like actually understand this stuff and to be able to highlight, or spot when something is a good project versus when something is maybe more of a trash project. Or if it's not trash, it's just, to be able to determine what are the more high tier blue chip projects. You should at least get a starting base of like what the highest TVL projects are in DeFi that have been like, let me look at this list again. I don't think there's any on this list that aren't, a year or two old. I don't think any of them. And so these ones have some age on them. They've survived like the worst of the market and stuff like that. They're at the top of the list. People need to learn what those different things do and why they've survived so long. Because that's like actual DeFi that's surviving. That's not the Ponzi, this and that, blah 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 blah, where you can like debate or anything like that. And these ones some of these offer like that 8% yield or higher in this list on these tokens, but they're doing it in more legit ways. And so I feel like this is an area of crypto specifically that people need to pay attention to and learn about, because that's where things are going. In the same way with like the crazy hype time of the last cycle where things started at millions or sometimes millions, thousands of 8% APY and stuff like that, and they eventually trickle down as more people come in and over time. The same thing is going to happen with these ones. It's going to be like any other financial market. As more and more people get in, it's going to go down. The opportunity goes down. So get in, learn about it early, get your licks. When you make a come up on an airdrop or something like that, it's nice to know how to utilize it in crypto to continuously make yourself some money. And there are ways. I was just mentioning or kind of psyching myself up today to be like, all right, I need to start using some of these stablecoin ones that I know about that will make me some type of yield. Will they make me the 1% or 3% a day degen yields that you sometimes see everywhere? No. But to be honest, when you do the math, it's like taking one of those higher risk projects, using a straight up stable coin that survived many years of bear markets and stuff like that, and getting it in 10 times as long for the one reward. So just count out 10 days for that whatever percent. I'm like, honestly, that's not bad. Like if that's going to be the case, and you want to know somewhere to like where to put that stuff that's better than like a bank or something like that, that's not a bad deal. I'll still have a risky part of my portfolio, I'm sure, but to know that I can put things in somewhere that's that much safer, and I'm still going to make something similar to those high risk yields. In a same, yeah, I don't know, but it's just the more you learn, folks. But that's our episode today of Trustless Degens. Thank you for joining us as our Wednesday show, Wednesday Web 3. And it's your boy Smurf and Rex Sadoshi joining you today. And we'll see you guys next time.